Awesome. Well, we're super excited. Marty McTeague again with Skull Marketing for another Business Huddle. And we have Danny McDonald of State Farm. And he is the president?
The president
Of the HBCA.
Correct.
So very involved in the Hopkins community. And we're super happy to have you here to chat a little bit about just that side of things, how you started your business, and we'll talk a little marketing and why something like the HBCA is a great thing for businesses to do. So we'll kind of kick things off with your story. Would love to hear a little bit about how you started the business and maybe the story leading up to that as well.
Sure. Yeah. First off, thanks for having me. I think this is really cool what y'all are doing. And just to support businesses in this way is fantastic. A bit about my story. Man, I always wanted to find some way of making a meaningful difference in people's lives. I'm a personable guy, so I started off in sales.
Yeah.
But it started off in car sales, which is all well and good, but not doing a whole lot other than
typically not the like happy changing people's lives.
No, you're going to make them happy for a little bit.
Yeah.
Until that 45 days comes around, they have to pay that first, monthly payment.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, kind of fell into insurance because I knew somebody who did it.
Yeah.
And got to realize just the kind of impact you could make on like individual levels. Mm-hmm. And then as I've grown and become an agent, I found I'm able to give back to my community in just a way that I haven't been able to before. Mm-hmm. And that's been really, really cool. And a lot of that is through things like the Business Association.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really awesome. Do you... So you live in Hopkins, or
I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
I don't actually know.
I've lived close twice.
Well, you don't have to share where you live, but what is your address? No.
Yeah, my social security number is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm curious. Like, obviously, you've chosen this as a place for your business.
Yeah.
So in terms of like that, like what makes Hopkins as a community so special to like having a business here, and why are you choosing this to kind of lay in your spot essentially?
Yeah, I would say for me it's twofold, and depending on the day that you ask, you might get a different answer. Both of them are equally valid though. The first one, so I grew up in St. Paul, over in Highland Park.
Yeah.
And if you grew up in St. Paul, like you get to know St. Paul and like Egan and Bloomington, but crossing the river outside of South Minneapolis like isn't happening.
Yeah.
So I just found out about Hopkins because I went to trivia at LTD, which is right next door.
Yeah.
Yep. And just fell in love with the vibe. There's always music. There's always bingo or trivia. Like, there's always something to do.
Yeah.
And for being such a small city, to have that kind of activity is awesome.
Yeah.
And then just the community itself is fantastic. Even like with what you're doing here, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's full of business owners that want to ascribe to that idea of like a rising tide lifts all boats, right? If we're all doing well and we're doing it well together, we just all do that much better.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
From a business standpoint, I'm in insurance, right? Yeah. So I was looking at, okay, where can I go somewhere where I would be known or I could make myself known? Is it in a spot where I could tap on multiple different demographics of folks, right? So like in insurance, my thought process is I want to go somewhere that's growing. Hopkins is growing. I want to have access to younger folks and established older folks. Mm-hmm. And with where Hopkins is located, being right in between like Uptown and Minnetonka Excelsior, it's a quick shot down 7. I'm old school and like to meet with people in person still. Kind of allows you to tap on both ends of that.
Yeah. And I love that thought process because it is like Hopkins is definitely a growing place, but it also has that like, it's like one of the only towns that's so close to Minneapolis, and yet it still has that like small town feel and that community driven feel. And, it is something where we've gotten to know our neighbors just because we're here and we're, regularly, walking past them or seeing them at some of the restaurants or things like that. And, and then obviously getting involved in things like the HBCA and things of that nature as well. And it's just incredible how like, in moments of like, hey, I'm trying out this new thing, or I am, like just launched a new like restaurant. Like we come and support pretty regularly, and if we like it, it's like you're going all in, and I'm trying to tell everyone about that place.
Correct.
Right?
Like I can't go to Pink Ivy every day.
Yeah, but you want to. Exactly. That's super awesome. When you like started your business, I'm curious about the marketing side of things, and like you established yourself here. Now you had to make a name for yourself, as you said. Like I'm not from here originally,
Correct.
or anything like that. So what are some things in the insurance business and your space that you utilize to really get yourself out there from a marketing standpoint? And my guess is some of it is this sort of thing.
Correct. I mean, I've never done a podcast before, so this is the first.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, yeah. Share some things.
Yeah, I guess a little context too that might be worth knowing. 2 ways you can start a State Farm agency. One is to fill the shoes of somebody else.
Yeah.
The other is to do what we call new market. So you don't start with a big book of business. You start. I mean, I wasn't at ground zero, but it wasn't fully established. I didn't have a bunch of money coming in.
Yeah.
And that's not the question you're asking, so I won't dive too far into that.
Yeah.
But for me, I went that latter route where I did start new market. I didn't have a big book of business. So it was, how do I grow it and grow it to a place where it's sustainable quickly?
Sure.
And that's where I am grateful. State Farm as a corporation, so I'm an independent agent. I'm not an employee. I own my business myself. But there's a lot of folks in that network that have done it and can get a lot of advice from a lot of different people. The first big thing for me was doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So everything from, SEO to SEM to, buying internet leads, which is just, if you see an ad on like Instagram that's like, your car insurance can be $20.
Yeah.
It's not true. They're just going to sell it to somebody like me, which fair enough. I don't like them either, but it's something you got to do.
Sure. Yeah.
Getting my name out there through things like Google reviews. So very proud. We got 209 5-star Google reviews.
Woo. That's awesome.
Which
That's
is great.
Huge. Yeah.
And then for me, I'm a big support local guy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you want to support people that you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of threw myself into how do I get more involved in this city in more different ways.
For sure.
So that if it's not coming through the internet, right, it's like, oh, Marty all of a sudden got an increase in his homeowner's insurance, and I could call Danny. That's different than being like, let me call 1-800 State Farm.
Right. Yeah. And that's such that's like the omni-channel approach that we like see as such a valuable piece for a lot of businesses, where it's like you're doing a little of the like, it could be print, it could be online, it could be in person. All of those things work really well together. And like, you're kind of hitting it on the nail of like, when you start a new business in a new area, you really have to make a name for yourself. And I'm sure it wasn't easy to just like get out there and, hey, I'm now like
here I am,
everything, right?
Yep.
Like everyone probably was knocking on the door immediately, right?
Yeah, exactly. I had a line. People got really excited when they saw another insurance agent come to town. No, it was kind of funny though. So when I came to town, knowing that was part of what I wanted to do, I just found out about the Business Association, was like, I want to join.
Yeah.
And then at that time, they're like, well, we need to interview you to make sure you're like, I don't know, good enough. I passed.
You passed.
I passed.
I love it.
Then they were like, hey, do you want to join the board? And I was like, what is that? I've never done that.
Yeah.
What does that mean? And then the president at the time, who owns the coffee shop down the street, Munkabeans, great spot if you haven't been.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure you have.
Love that place.
She was like, hey, I need some help. Will you be my VP? And I was like, what does that mean? She was just like, I just need some help. And I was like, you got it. Let's go. Then like 2 months later, she's like, oh, by the way, I'm terming out and you're up. And I was like, great.
That's what it meant.
Great. Perfect. That's what I needed. That's what I needed here. But it's worked out. People have called me Mr. Hopkins.
Oh,
which
hey.
We'll take.
That's when you're establishing a name and you're not from here. That's a nice thing. You got the key to the city almost.
Almost. I can text the mayor, so
I love it.
I know.
Awesome. So as a business, like you touched on HBCA, like talk a little bit about that and what it can do for businesses, and also like maybe in a larger sense, because not everyone listening or watching is a Hopkins-based business.
Yeah.
But like, what's the importance of joining a community type association like that, and what would you kind of say to businesses in the pitch of joining something like that?
Yeah. What's the importance of community?
That's a big question.
It's a big question. No, I don't know. Like you get so much from it. Now, I will say, and I've said this over and over and over again in official capacities and unofficial ones, with any organization like the Hopkins Business and Civic Association, you get out what you put into it, sure. Right? If you just show up to one meeting a year and you pay your dues and you walk away, like, you're not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah.
But if you take the time to like get to know, what is this cool skull building? Why do they have a bar in the back? And why are they selling tailgate spices too?
Right.
All of a sudden, when you start to like, I'm having an issue with we'll leave the company out of it. My like paid search things. I'm like, oh yeah, let me call John and Marty.
Yeah.
If I need I had somebody reach out to me being like, hey, I'm trying to figure out a new retail space.
Yeah.
Right. I know who to connect you with.
Sure.
And by having these connections, you just randomly will get folks that'll, pop up and, want to do business with you because they know who you are. They know what you're about. They know that you're not just trying to like quick sell them something and then they're gone the next day.
Right. You're building community. You are the helper. You're the person that can, be the I know all, sort of sense.
Or enough.
Yeah. Or at least you're a connector, which is like a helpful thing of like, that's where the community aspect really comes into play. And obviously the, it's so true that you get what you put in. And like, I mean, I think that's true in everything, right? Is we even talk about that with our clients is like, the more involved you are, the better the results.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes into like, we want to make sure that we're doing the best job for you. And if we don't get that feedback, that's not, even if it's good feedback, that's what we want to hear, right? Like
we need to know.
That means that we're doing our job and we're moving in the right direction. So that's so great to hear. And I would just say like, if you were to say somebody's visiting Hopkins for the first time, what are some spots that they should definitely check out? And I'm sure the list is super long.
Put me on the spot like that.
On the spot as Mr. President of the HBCA.
I mean, I could run through a list. We could put together a full day. What I can tell you, actually, we have some great folks at the City of Hopkins that run Think Hopkins,
sure,
which is kind of the marketing arm of the city. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they've done, I haven't done it personally yet, but if you don't trust me because we just met, or you don't know me because I'm just speaking on this podcast, there are a bunch of here's a cool day to do in Hopkins.
Cool, yeah.
That locals have put together for like, hey, here's what you should do.
Sure.
For me personally, I like going anywhere where there's like live music. Sure. I'm a musician myself, so hitting up like LTD always has music. Mm-hmm. Main Street Bar and Grill does a lot of music. Wild Boar does a lot of music. My wife's an actress, so hitting up stages is also really fun.
For sure.
Food, I mean, that's getting too hard to pick one spot.
They're growing like crazy.
Yeah.
And you're right across from, a bunch of places. A Dairy Queen local legend, right?
Yep. Still one of the classic ones. Best meal you can get there is a hot dog, but we're all going there for the blizzards anyways.
That's true.
I mean, the new Brasa we're really close to.
Yeah.
Close to the new restaurant, Hendricks and Sienna, which is...
I haven't been yet, but I want to take my wife for sure.
Go.
Yeah.
Real good.
What a cool story, too. They just like the name and things like that. I feel like it's a really cool deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Obviously, Pink Ivy is awesome.
Yeah. We're a lot closer to Pink Ivy, so that's a regular, and they were just on the pod as well. So,
yeah. Also, like, pop across the street from here and hit up Mill City Sound.
Yeah.
They got a great collection over there.
Yes.
All the folks that work there are awesome too.
Yeah.
I'm big like go get a record, get a good meal, go see some kind of show.
Yeah. Grab coffee, go to any of the antique shops if you ever want.
I'm not, those give me anxiety. My wife loves them.
Yeah.
She'll be like, I'm going to pop in here for 5 minutes, and then she's gone for 45. And you're like, what the heck just happened? But for me, they're a bit much.
But that's like a great example of how you can just get lost in the city. And I think that's a cool thing. And obviously as a community, like it is something that, being able to support that and see, the successes of that, but also just the ability to show impact with this community building that we're doing here right now is like sharing some of these stories and saying, hey, like come to this community. But also when you're at a different community, that's where being a part of a association brings you all together and says, hey, like if you're a new business and or an established business, it's a great place for you to find new connections and think together about hey, did you know there is this, opportunity to get on a marketing, like a sheet that the government is putting out, the local government is putting out that you should visit these places. That's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, and that is one of the other nice things about things like a business association. I don't know how they're all run. This is the only one I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
But you might find out about things that you maybe otherwise didn't know about. So like, Hopkins has our facade improvement program where the city will invest in you making your building look better.
Yeah.
I know folks that run a financial advisory firm right over across Excelsior that they were at one of our meetings and found out about a grant at the time that helped them redo the interior of their space. Or if you want to upgrade to, Hopkins is big on going green. There's a lot of climate solution funds available.
The real name. Yeah.
Yep, the real name.
Green Initiative. That's great.
Michaela, when you talk, I listen. So like you might find connection and you might find dollars that might help you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
You might know if this weekend, if you got like a retail shop, you might know 3 months in advance that their main street's going to be closed as opposed to a day in advance or 3 minutes in advance.
Yeah.
It just kind of helps you plan.
That's so true. That's super awesome. One last question, just putting you on the spot. Any like podcasts or books or maybe show or something that you're currently watching, listening to?
One of my favorite things, I'm much more of a audiobook podcast guy. So you can read it. I did a podcast, or not a podcast, an audiobook. It was called Unreasonable Hospitality.
Cool.
Really great. It was written by and narrated, if you do the audiobook, by the author.
Sure.
He's a guy who ran a restaurant called 11 Madison Park in New York City.
Okay.
And at one point, it was rated one of like the best restaurants in the world.
Sure.
And he was a big integral part of like getting it to that level.
Yeah.
And the big thing in the book, I mean, he talks a lot about like leadership and just how to approach different things and like putting time, care, and effort into things that you might otherwise just kind of do on autopilot.
Yeah.
And just making situations that might feel transactional special.
Sure. Yeah.
So he's talking about a restaurant, but for me, I would listen to like a chapter every night.
Yeah.
I'd come into my office the next morning all jazzed.
Well,
like,
that's
hey.
awesome. Like as a business owner, you start thinking about things differently. Like even The Bear as a show that sounds similar to that. Like you're like, it's both stressful as you're watching and probably, encountering or listening to those different stories. But at the same point, like, there's a reason that's so important. Every little detail does matter. That's awesome.
How to just make people feel like seen and special.
For sure.
He was in his book. He talks about he created a position in a restaurant that he just called the Dreamweaver, based off of that old song.
My gosh.
And their job was just to like go around the restaurant, like hear what was going on.
Yeah.
So that they could do something special for whoever happened to be there.
That's so neat.
So like once they picked up, like kids were in town and like it was the first time they had ever seen snow.
Yeah.
So like they arranged for after their meal to be picked up by a car with sleds in the back of it to take them to like a hill.
Oh my gosh.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
Like just seeing somebody care a little bit.
I'm sure it was like a really affordable restaurant.
Yeah. Yep. I was out there for the first time last March and I really wanted to go because I was listening to the book at the time. And I don't know. I'm a meat and potatoes guy.
Sure. Yeah.
It's now, super expensive. Yeah. It's like 5-star dining.
Right.
It's also now vegan.
Oh man, yeah.
Which I'm sure is delicious. No knock on the
100%.
vegans.
Yeah.
If I'm going to spend like hundreds of dollars on
Yeah.
a single meal, I'm going to want a steak.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I need a steak involved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're paying for the experience, though.
Dude, that's true.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time.
Next time.
I love that. Well, awesome. I appreciate you coming in, Danny. This has been so great, and sharing some stories and things of that nature.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And yeah, we're excited to dive in deeper on HBCA this year, and continue our connections.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Sweet.
Thanks.
Thanks.